So last week we added networked physics between our client and server, but unfortunately that led to some thread safety issues. Today we're going to talk about what those issues were and how we fixed them. So originally in our game we had a single thread which executed all of our systems in a specific order, and each of those systems would interact with the respective component stores that it needed to perform its computations. So once we started adding networking, we added a special thread whose job is to just pull data out of the network and then basically update this component store with like those update packets. So for example, the client would receive transform updates for specific entities, and it would just overwrite the transform storage for those entities. So this is where the contention occurs though, because the game loop thread and the receive thread are both accessing the same storage at potentially the same time. So this means that we have to make our ECS storage thread safe, and also it means that there could be a potential race condition where if the receive thread and game loop thread both try to write to the transform storage at the same time, we don't have a deterministic way to know whose write will be the one that gets persisted in the transform storage. So what we did to fix this was we reduced the two-thread problem to a single thread problem, and what I mean by that is that we made it so that our game loop thread is the only thread that accesses our ECS storage. So we still have our receive thread, but basically the receive thread now will pull data out of the network, and then it'll put it into this thread safe channel primitive that Go supports. As we receive data in this thread, it'll just slowly fill up this channel with data, and then concurrently the game loop is executing at the same exact time. Then we created a special system here whose job is to just pull all of the data out of the channel and then write it to the storage. And this solves both of our problems, because it solves the thread safety issue, because now we have only one thread interacting with the storage. And we've kind of serialized all of these systems into a specific order. The race condition issue is also solved because we've specifically put our network update system at the very top of our game loop. So the very first thing that's going to happen when our game loop executes is all of the network packets that came in while we were executing the last frame are going to get put into our component storage. So here's what it looks like with the client and server kind of both connected. So they both have this kind of mirrored pattern where they both have a receive thread which pushes data into a channel, and they both have a system inside of their game loop which pulls data out of the channel and then writes it to the ECS storage. One of the benefits here is that we can share code in our client and server applications. So the last thing I wanted to talk about was some potential for more advanced multi-threading or more advanced concurrency that we might do in the future. And this specific type of concurrency would help us improve the performance of each individual system by kind of dividing and conquering data in such a way that we can execute multiple parts of our simulation at the same time. So what we do now is we have this kind of single-threaded solution where we have the entire transform storage, which is basically an array of transforms. And this is the data that we need to run a computation on. So we have, for example, the simulate physics system. And his job is basically going to just pull every single individual transform out of the transform storage, and then it's going to execute the physics simulation that we want to perform. So in the divide and conquer methodology, what we could do is we could start dividing up this transform storage into as many buckets as we want, and then we could create a simulation for each of those buckets. Because thread 0 never needs to access the transform storage for thread 1, there will be no write contention when we write the data back from thread 0 to the storage. This channel interaction seems to be like a common pattern that people will use in Go to separate multiple threads, and often I've seen people do things like fan in and fan out logic into it, like fan in multiple threads into one channel and then maybe potentially fan that out into multiple threads. In this case we kind of have just one thread passing it to another, so it's not really fanning in or out. Well, I hope you thought this was interesting. Let me know if you have any feedback, and I'll see you next time.